Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take that just overwhelming flow of industry information and really distill it down to the pure, actionable intelligence you need. And today, we're doing something pretty unique. We are going inside the competitive landscape of the world's top AI models, the Big Five, to see how they see themselves and each other.
Right.
And specifically for, sophisticated professional legal use.
Exactly. This isn't us just reading the marketing materials. We've synthesized the evaluations from the 5 big competitors themselves. So ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok, and Perplexity.
So it's the AIs reviewing the AIs.
It is. It gives you this rare, almost consensus-driven view of what makes each one different. Our mission here is pretty straightforward. We want to give you an objective, actionable blueprint for building a winning AI tool stack.
Okay, and I think we have to get this out of the way right at the top because it really sets the stage for everything else.
Yeah.
After looking at all of this, the universal consensus is just crystal clear. No single LLM is good enough for all legal work, period.
Full stop. Absolutely. If you're relying on just one of these for everything, from, say, drafting a motion to calculating damages, you are, frankly, exposing yourself to a lot of unnecessary risk.
So the idea of a single AI for law is it's not real.
It's not. Success with AI in legal practice, and this is according to the AIs themselves, depends entirely on combining these specialized tools. You have to match the tool to the task.
Okay, so let's unpack that consensus. Because it's kind of amazing that despite all the competition, they all sort of agree on what the rivals are good at.
It is. It suggests these aren't just, marketing claims. There are real fundamental architectural differences at play here.
So we're breaking it down into 5 essential roles that they all seem to agree on.
Yeah, a division of labor, really. First up, we have ChatGPT. The consensus is that it's the numerical workbench.
The numbers guy.
The numbers guy. All 5 models unanimously say ChatGPT is the best for numerical analysis. The key is its advanced data analysis feature. It can actually execute Python code.
Okay, so what does that mean in practice? Why is running code inside the chat such a big deal?
Well, for one, it lets you do things like calculate present values, run financial models, or analyze damages data right there in the conversation. You just upload a file.
So no more exporting to Excel and back.
Exactly. It cuts down on human error. And, maybe more importantly, Python gives you an auditable trail. You can ask it, show me the code you used for that calculation.
Which you'd absolutely need if it's for an exhibit or for evidence. That makes sense.
You have to have that transparency.
Okay, so from crunching numbers to crunching words, what's next?
The next is the undisputed champion of just sheer volume. That's Gemini, the big data analyst.
The big one.
The big one. Universal agreement here. Gemini has the largest practical context window, somewhere between 1 and 2 million tokens.
And a token is basically a word or a piece of a word. 2 million is. That's a staggering amount of information to hold in active memory.
It is. Think about it like this. You can upload a 1,000-page deal room, a 4-hour deposition transcript, and 50 emails, and Gemini can cross-reference them all at the same time.
Without forgetting what was on page 5 when it's looking at page 900.
Precisely. That makes it the absolute best choice for ingesting and synthesizing these massive document sets. Think large-scale e-discovery.
Okay, from huge scale to verifiable truth. That brings us to Perplexity.
Right, Perplexity, the research scout. It's consistently rated the strongest for transparent, verifiable sources.
It shows its work.
It's built to show its work. It answers your questions with citations linked right back to the original source, and it has real-time web access, so it's perfect for that initial fact-finding.
Like a 50-state survey or just getting a starting list of cases.
Exactly. It's the step you take before you dive deep into Westlaw or Lexis.
All right, so we've got numbers, volume, and facts. Now for the, let's say, the art of it all. Persuasive writing.
And that is Claude, the senior partner writer.
The wordsmith?
The wordsmith. It's widely recognized for producing the most, human-like and nuanced prose. It's tuned for rhetorical sophistication.
So this is what you'd use for the really high-stakes stuff.
Absolutely. An appellate brief, a critical negotiation memo, any document where the tone and the flow are just as important as the raw facts, it just produces drafts that need less human rewriting.
Why is that? Is it just trained on different data?
It seems to be. They talk about an extended thinking mode, so it takes a bit longer, but the result is prose that just has a greater coherence, a better grasp of tone. It feels more considered.
Okay, and that leaves one more. The real-time specialist.
Grok. And its role is the real-time investigator.
What makes it so special?
It has, and all the other models admit this is unique, real-time access to the X platform's data.
So live data from what used to be Twitter.
Exactly. It makes it indispensable for social listening, for OSINT, that's open source intelligence, and for tracking public sentiment or breaking news narratives literally as they unfold.
So it's not for your internal case files. It's for what the world is saying about your case right now.
Right now, it's intelligence gathering for a crisis.
All right, so this is where it gets really juicy for me. The consensus is one thing, but where do they disagree? Where do you start to see the self-bias creeping in?
Oh, it definitely creeps in. The sharpest disagreement we saw was on citation reliability. And this is, of course, the #1 fear for any lawyer using AI.
The dreaded hallucination.
Precisely. And we saw this really bold claim from Claude. It asserted that, quote, ChatGPT hallucinates 1 in 3 citations in fragmented legal documents.
Wait, 1 in 3, that's a huge number. Did they source that claim?
And that's the crucial part. No, it was a completely unsourced statistic.
So the AI that prides itself on nuance is using an unsubstantiated jab to attack its main rival on its biggest weakness.
That's the perfect way to put it. It absolutely feels like competitive framing, right? To position Claude as the safer choice. But even if the number is hyperbole, the fact that Claude made the claim tells you where the real market vulnerability is.
Fascinating. Like AI corporate warfare. What else did they bicker about?
There was a lot of confusion around technical specs, especially the context window size for ChatGPT. The claims were all over the place, from 128,000 tokens all the way up to 1 million.
So which is it?
Well, it points to a real-world problem. It's not that the AI is necessarily confused, it's that there are different tiers of access.
So the version you and I might use for $20 a month is not the same as what a big firm gets through an enterprise API?
Exactly. If you want those massive context windows for big document jobs, you often have to pay for the higher tier API access. The consumer model is great, but it's not the big data analyst.
Okay, what about security? I mean, for a law firm, that's everything.
This was a really critical insight, and it came from ChatGPT's own analysis. It was the only one to flag the risk of prompt injection vulnerabilities.
Prompt injection. What's that?
It's essentially a way for a malicious user to trick the LLM into ignoring its own safety rules. With clever phrasing, you could potentially get it to reveal confidential data it's supposed to be protecting.
That is terrifying. It's like social engineering the AI itself.
It is, and the fact that ChatGPT was the only one to bring this up suggests either they have a very good internal security team or they're just more willing to be transparent about the risks, which in itself is a good thing.
Amidst all this, I actually found Perplexity's honesty to be kind of refreshing.
I agree. It showed a lot of self-awareness. It actually calls itself a conversational search engine, not a true generative AI.
It knows its lane.
It knows its lane. And it explicitly says it is not a substitute for a primary law database. It's managing your expectations perfectly. It's saying, use me first, but then you must go to Westlaw.
Which really brings us back to the one limitation they all, without exception, agree on.
Yes, every single one of them. These tools cannot and should not replace proprietary legal databases like Westlaw or Lexis. They all mandate human verification of every single citation. That's the non-negotiable safety net.
Okay, so let's move from features to, actual practice. How does this look on a Tuesday afternoon when you're on a deadline?
Right. Let's get concrete. Matching the tool to the task is where the real value is.
So give me the perfect scenario for ChatGPT, the numbers guru.
The ideal use case is personal injury damages mediation prep.
Yeah.
So I've got spreadsheets, medical bills, wage loss reports, just thousands of rows of data.
A nightmare.
A total nightmare. Instead of manually crunching all that in Excel, you upload the raw CSV files to ChatGPT. You use its advanced data analysis, and it just instantly generates a verified present value calculation, formatted perfectly for your brief.
That could save days of a paralegal's time.
Days! And it practically eliminates calculation errors.
All right, now for Gemini, this is the big data one. What's its ideal scenario?
For Gemini, think deep e-discovery review. You have a massive set of documents. A 4-hour video deposition, maybe 2,000 pages of medical records, and a call transcript.
And it can handle all of that at once.
At once. And not just the text. This is the key. It uses its multimodal ability to analyze the lawyer's tone in the video, cross-references that with its specific date it finds on page 1,500 of the medical records, and flags a contradiction.
So it's not just a keyword search. It's understanding video, tone, and text altogether.
That's the game changer. It's true synthesis.
Okay, on to Claude, the senior partner. What's its highest and best use?
I'd say complex drafting for a big M&A deal. You feed it a 150-page merger agreement. It goes into that extended thinking mode and analyzes every single clause.
And what does it produce?
It produces a perfectly structured 15-page internal memo. It might identify, say, 12 specific strategic concerns, explain the risks, and then propose the exact red line language to fix them.
So it's not just summarizing, it's providing legal strategy.
It's doing the associate level work and doing it at a very high level. The partner just needs to make the final strategic calls.
Finally, Grok, the real-time investigator.
This is for crisis management. Let's say your client is a CEO accused of insider trading. The company's reputation is on the line.
Things are moving fast.
By the minute, Grok can monitor X in real time, track sentiment spikes around the CEO's name or the stock ticker, and identify the narratives that could be influencing a jury pool. It's instantaneous situational awareness that no other model can provide.
Okay, so this all points to one conclusion.
Yeah.
You can't just buy one subscription and call it a day.
Not if you want to be competitive and safe. The ultimate consensus here is that multi-model workflows are a mandate, not a luxury.
So how are the really smart attorneys actually implementing this? What does that workflow look like?
Well, the synthesis pointed to a pretty clear 4-step process. Let's call it Workflow 1 for comprehensive case research.
Okay, step 1.
Step 1 is Perplexity. You use it for that initial broad research, a quick 50-state survey compiling a reading list. It's fast and the sources are transparent.
Step 2.
Step 2, you move to either ChatGPT or Gemini for the heavy document analysis. You pick ChatGPT if you're dealing with numbers and financial data.
And Gemini if you're just drowning in pages.
Exactly. Gemini for when you have thousands of pages that need to be understood holistically.
And then step 3.
Step 3 is Claude. You take all the verified facts and insights from the first 2 steps, and you hand them to Claude to draft that final, polished, strategic memo. It weaves it all into a sophisticated narrative.
And the final step, which I'm guessing is the most important.
Non-negotiable. Step 4 is always human review, verifying every citation in Westlaw or Lexis and applying your own strategic legal judgment. The AI gives you speed, the human provides the liability protection.
Let's talk cost, because the managing partner is going to ask, what does this actually cost to implement?
For a solo lawyer or a small firm, you can start with a minimum viable stack. That would be ChatGPT Plus and Perplexity Pro. You're looking at about $40 a month total.
And that covers most daily tasks.
It covers, I'd say, 80% of daily needs. Drafting, calculations, and that initial sourced research. It's a huge return on a small investment.
But for a large firm, you're recommending the comprehensive stack, all 5. That's got to be more.
It is. You're looking at about $100 to $120 per attorney per month.
And how do you justify that when they're already spending a fortune on the big legal databases?
You justify it with risk mitigation and specialization. A single missed detail in a huge discovery set or one bad calculation can cost the firm exponentially more than $120.
And you can specialize.
Right. Your M&A team can live in Gemini. Your appellate team can lean heavily on Claude. You're not just buying 5 tools. You're buying the best tool for every specific step, for every practice area.
That makes a lot of sense.
So the big meta conclusion here is that this market is already defined by specialization. And what's really amazing is that the competitive intelligence is so good, even the rival AIs agree on each other's strengths. They know their roles.
They know their own limits, and they know the competition strengths, which forces everyone toward this multi-model future you're talking about.
It does.
And that leads us to a final, provocative thought for you to take away. Given that all 5 of these competing models agreed on the need for human verification and on the specific complementary strengths of their rivals, does this suggest that the core technical realities of these LLMs are actually converging way faster than their marketing departments want us to believe? And if this big 5 stack is now basically established, what new super specialized tools will we need next year to complement this architecture?
That's the big question.
It's time to stop looking for the one perfect AI and maybe start building your multi-model team. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
We'll catch you next time.